2026, and you're listening to the Tech Addicts podcast. Brace yourself. This week, nude image blocking, Lenovo's got a new rugged tablet, Britain's big hole, AI overviews, and legal liability, Amazon's $1 billion UK investment, and water harvesting textiles. Hello and welcome to the Tech Addicts podcast. I'm Gareth. I am the host. This is Ted. He is the co-host.
Hello, everyone. And it's wonderful to be with you again. And before we forget about it again this week, I'm going to tell you that it really feels today as though summer's arriving. It's warm. I've got a fan on under my feet, so if there's some sort of buzz that you can't take out edit, Gareth, then there might be a buzz. But tough titty. Nobody listens to the show anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Are you kidding? We've got fans as far as
Uganda.
We did have, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
There were folks that
we somehow we tracked one person listening in Uganda a few years ago. we were gobsmacked.
But they didn't reach out and tell us, so it could have been a spy or a scammy thing. Who knows? Yeah. Well, yes, all's wonderful here, but don't worry, folks. Ted has to keep warm somehow, keep cool somehow. That would make more sense. Yes, the sun is not out at the moment. It's very grey, which would probably make it warmer. I don't know what the temperature is today. 15 degrees here, apparently.
Oh, that's nice. I'll settle for that. It's not terrible. It's just that it's me. 20 anything over 15 to me is a bit rubbish. But it's not like it's 34 or something.
Any opportunity to complain,
yeah,
jump on it,
moan, whine, and whinge.
Well, I managed to get the grass cut yesterday, so it's been a dry weekend. That was awesome, and it was really easy to cut too because the grass was so dry.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Right, well, we'll move into the news because there is stuff to talk about this week. We're going to start with the UK proposing on-device nude image blocking technology.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you were doing the... Right, right, edit point. Lenovo, right, I'll carry on. Lenovo ThinkTab X11, the $499 rugged Android tablet for field workers, which we did talk about before, but it's now imminent.
Britain's got a deep geothermic discovery in Cornwall.
Google faces legal liability for AI overviews in German court case.
And Microsoft Office 2019 users face Apple device editing restrictions.
And atmospheric water harvesting textiles.
Ooh, it's a packed show of exciting things and big holes. All right, well, moving into to the top story there. We usually do feedback, don't we? I don't think there is any.
Oh, no. I told you no one listens.
No, they've just got nothing to grumble about because we're so damn sexy.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to start with Keir Starmer. It's the first time sexy and Keir Starmer have been in the same paragraph. The UK government is proposing a mandatory on-device scanning technology that will block explicit content for children, threatening to change the law if tech companies don't comply within 3 months. Wow. So this is a new sort of policy that they're pushing through, if anything, and given that rushing a policy through has always been the best way to deal with things in the long run. Ted, what do you know about this?
Well, we've already had the whole thing where the UK government have attacked service providers and made them get people to verify their age ID and all that. But now they're going for people's individual devices. So they are threatening to, or promising to, by the looks of it, put something. No one seems to know quite how they're going to do it, but to put something on devices, any connected device in the UK, which scans what's on it and what it's being used for, and if the image is something dubious like nudity, then they're going to actively fuzz it out with technology. I cannot believe that they are going to be able to. There is a company that they're working with though called Harm Block, and they reckon that they can differentiate between what's this explicit sexual image and an innocent picture of like someone on the beach or somebody having a bath or something, and so they're obviously claiming they can do that. The big problem for me though is the whole privacy thing really, and we soon won't be able to use a phone or any device that is connected to the internet without permission from the government and giving the government our ID and proving who we are, and it just our usage online would just be another data point that they will be able to collect about people. This is being caged. This is being framed regarding safety for children and indecent images. Okay, fair enough, but actually. Taking this to this sort of extreme, it doesn't feel much like a solution to me, because it just infiltrates everyone's. It's a bit like the argument of the terrorism thing, that security is really important and we have to accept these limitations in order to stay safe in terms of being bombed or whatever. Well, there's just always two sides to the story, and this is very, very infiltrational. Is that a word?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it'll work. So this is an operating system level scanning.
Yes.
Not application even. System function. It's not an app that you're going to have to download. It's going to be ingrained in the operating system. That has good intentions. That it's supposed to exploit criminals essentially, but it could be exploited by criminals, because the government, the UK government especially, really does things by halves, even by quarters, because you have a look at the Discord exposing, 70,000 users' information due to the government's ID photos debacle that they pushed out, and the government took a step back after that, and it's back to the drawing board. But the people's privacy information here is at risk, and the government doesn't seem to be too concerned about that because of the war that they're having on protecting kids from the internet. And at every turn they seem to just be exposing more and more and going, oh, sorry, we'll back paddle, but the harm's already done. 70,000 users from Discord having their information exposed isn't acceptable. The government won't have to own up and say, yeah, that's our fault, because, well, it's the government, and they can just pass it on to something else, and blame the previous government for it and the arcane systems that they were using way back when. So Signal's president Meredith Whittaker has called the policy unrealistic, and that would be one person that really should be in talks with the government, because they know quite a bit about privacy and what to do. The government isn't pulling in these experts, these tech experts, to discuss what to do and how to do it. Instead, they're just relying on basically not really understanding the likes of, say, what a VPN is, and just going, well, people are using it to exploit the system, so we should ban them. Even though I use a VPN every day to be able to access the government's computer And it's not going to be a case of we're going to ban them. It's going to be a case of, well, the government's allowed to use them, but people aren't. So a few years ago, they were all about, don't give out your personal details online. Now they're going, don't give out your personal details online, give them to us, and we'll hand them out to people. It's disgusting. It's harmful. It's bad. And if you have a look at Australia, which is where they are actually taking a lot of their playbook from, Australian problems are arising where the parents are saying, well, we don't need to look after our kids online because the government's doing it for us. And as a result, the kids are going into the dark web. They're using all kinds of weird VPNs in order to be able to get round whatever it is they need to do, because they've already been exposed to it and they've been denied these services that they used to use. So they're doing shady things to be able to go and get back those services that they had before. And it's opened up a whole new issue of problems. I don't know what the way forward is for them, but if they need to back off and let parents do their job. Certainly there are kids who are, don't have parents to do that job for them, and they're the ones that need focus. They need guardians to be able to help them with that. And there are shitty parents out there who turn a blind eye. But if a kid then gets exposed to something and we find out about it, then those parents should be fined. Don't punish everyone just because one parent is a bit lax, a bit stupid about things. It's something I bang on about for ages, and I'm not going to on this show. Ted, any thoughts?
I can't. There is a possibility that the likes of Google and Apple will say, we're not changing the whole of our operating system just so that the little UK can do what they want to do with everything. I mean, they could just give them the two fingers, couldn't they? And how much further would this go? Like, is Microsoft the next company that's going to be? So if you've got a desktop computer, is that going to get the same? Is it going to be baked into the operating system of Windows or even Linux or anything that is capable of getting online in the UK? They're targeting mobile devices because everyone's got one in their pocket, but who knows where it's going to stop? Ed House in the group says, "Fucking government." You could just rephrase that statement to, it's to protect the children, but we're going to use it to fine everyone whose values in life differ from ours. What a load of shit, he says. Add to that, I bet everyone's really pleased some balky government mandated scanner is about to fuck up your processing speed and battery life. Can't wait to go back to the late noughties and have to wait for the scanner to check every file before I can move it from one place to another. Dickheads.
Fair. Well done, yes. Well said. It opens up the whole idea of, I was expecting someone to say, well, I'm just going to go to my good old-fashioned Palm OS device or Web OS device or Symbian and start using that instead. If you want an operating system level scanner, go back to an operating system that can't possibly have that scanner inside of it.
Yeah.
And Windows 98 will suddenly come back.
Yeah.
Microsoft's not going to go back and reprogram that whole operating system to have something like this, and it'll become really popular again.
Yeah. Well, and also handheld devices, which was something else I was raising. Like we're going to talk a bit later about Steam devices, and where does that actually stop? And because you can put basically you can put an micro SD card or SD card into anything. You could be viewing whatever you want in your camera, your DSLR, for example. You just if you really want to look at indecent images, there's a 1,001 other ways of doing it other than on your phone, isn't there? It's just nonsense.
Well, it's more for sharing them, and I think that's what they really want to clamp down on. And they know very well that they can't do anything about like the likes of NZBs and news groups. That's far too complicated. So they're just doing it from the surface level where people will actually go and view them and share them. So if they nail that on the head, then that should ultimately take down the mechanism that people use to distribute. It's half-baked once again.
Yeah, but this is about blurring users' images, not distribution issues. I mean, that's another part of it, I'm sure, but this is actually people, children sitting looking at their phone. Anyway, as you say,
no, it's also from the where it blurs an image, it'll report back as well. Say for example, you have an image of a child on the beach running around, scantily clad. We've seen Facebook hammering people who might have that on their Facebook profile, going, "Look at us on our first holiday. The kids are building sandcastles," and they're going, "You've got a half-naked child there," and removing it and possibly even blocking that person from Facebook.
Yeah.
There are horror stories of that happening. So, you've got someone who is doing that actively, is viewing these and going, "No, that's inappropriate. That's inappropriate." And I think there was a documentary recently, or at least a news article, about how some fella was in court being asked about how he was making decisions, and he found some homosexual content or something, and decided he didn't agree with that. It was against his religious beliefs, so he banned the person from whatever service it was they were using. I was like, right, okay, so it's down to your discretion, not down to what is in the legislation. And that's what you run the risk of, that someone just doesn't agree with something being there, or you don't like someone being of a particular religion or of a particular ethnic background, and then decide, no, I don't like pictures of black people, so I'm going to get rid of them. That's an issue that will certainly happen, because it happens on the street day and daily. Anyway, yes, the UK government is going to hell in the handbag. I think it's only going to get worse, and I do think that the future ahead of us is that Farage doesn't agree with any of these things, and that's I'm daring to say that's one good thing about him. Excuse me. Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I suppose there's, where there's something covered in warts, there's got to be an area that isn't covered in warts, no matter how small it is. But, something else is going to come along that'll go in its place, because you've got to actively try to clamp down on paedophiles and things being able to spread their shit about on the internet. And there's no easy way to do it, but doing a blanket policy that is going to affect everyone, everywhere in the UK, is not the right way to do it. But Labour seems to think that they can handle that in their stupidity.
But many, many parents are not as responsible as you. So, the lowest common denominator is going to rule what happens, isn't it? Anyway.
Well, find those parents. Make them scared to let their kids online. Simple as that. I'm scared of my son being online, and I have things on his phone to stop him from viewing. Google do a very simple thing called Family Link, and it's not 100%, but it's enough that if something does seep through, I can go to Google and go, what the fuck is this? Sort this out. Microsoft have it as well for their Xbox and for their computer, and it gives me stats back as to what my son's doing online. And it's great. It's terrific. I can go and challenge him if he were to ever do that. He doesn't. He's a little miracle, I have to say. He's not like his old man at all, whoever he is. And, that's...
I suppose they could. I mean, they effectively do a similar thing with children attending schools, don't they? And successfully kind of punish parents if they don't facilitate that properly. Or the last time I looked, they did. Maybe it's different now.
Yeah. I think if your child brought a knife to school, they would check his school bag on the way in, and they tend to do that now in the wake of all the disasters, and that punishes all of the kids that are at school, but then they go back and go to the parents, why was there a machete in your son's bag?
Yeah. But I suppose this is different to that because it is so, there's so many mobile phones in so many pockets that you can't hope to isolate it down and send the SWAT team round to every offender who's got a parent who could be targeted. It's a really difficult topic, isn't it?
People who don't have children will have to do this. It is a bit like saying you're not allowed to draw your curtains in the evenings now in case the police want to have a look through your window and see what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what it is, yeah. That's what it's boiling down to. Right, happier news, because we've been on that for too long, and people are probably going, no, you're wrong, and yes, it's half-baked, it's all just thoughts and opinions, nothing's right or wrong here, we're all just buddies, why can't we get along and all that. Lenovo ThinkTab X11, which is a $500 rugged Android tablet for field workers. Lenovo is releasing the ThinkTab X11. It's a catchy title, and it's for frontline workers in logistics, manufacturing, construction, and transportation.
And me.
And it's to and Ted, because he drops this toilet tablet frequently. And it's to bridge the gap between consumer tablets and expensive enterprise-grade devices. It's got a 10,200 milliamp hour removable battery with a screwless mechanism, and an easy mid-shift replacement or batteryless DC power mode for fixed deployments. It's got a 10.95-inch 90 Hz display with up to 800 nits of brightness, cornering Gorilla Glass, Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 processor with 12 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage, UFS 3.1 storage, and there's durability certifications, MLSTD. Ooh, it's got an STD. 810H, and it's rated IP68. It's got dual USB ports and some other gubbins as well inside. Ted, you're going to have one of these?
Yeah, I'd love to have one, but I don't think we'll be able to buy them. I think Lenovo will probably only sell them to business, so you'll have to kind of jump through some hoops to get one. But the concept is just great of having the back. You can see that it's just got a finger pull thing, like an Xperia phone SIM card tray. You just pull it off and then put a new battery in it, carry back whatever batteries you want. And even if you don't put a battery in it, you can still plug it into other devices and it will just work, which means that the long life expectancy of such a device doesn't rely on batteries. Even if the manufacturer stops making them, you could still use it as long as you plug it into the mains, which is just brilliant. The only concern that I've got with this is that it's an Android tablet, and Lenovo Roller are doing their usual thing, 2 OS updates and 4 years of security. 4 years of security, I suppose, is okay, but 2 Android updates, and then it'll be finished. Now, the reality is that this is going to be blathered with so much Lenovo industrial enterprise software that it probably won't matter that much. But it's just another thing about you. Give us your 500 quid, and we'll give you a thing that works for 2 years properly, and if you're lucky, 4 years. Which is just a shame, because I think it's a great looking device. And no, of course I don't need a rugged device like this, but I'd really like one because it's and look at that stylus. Look at the built-in stylus in the silo on the corner there. It just
that's built into the case. It's not built into the actual tablet.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You buy a case, because obviously you're going to lose the stylus, I'm sure, on a building construction site.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be able to just replace it by buying a new case.
If I could buy one of these, I'm almost convinced I would. The only thing that might hold me back is the 2 OS updates. Lenovo Roller need to get their shit together with that. It's really annoying. that they don't. You know, when Samsung and Apple and Google are doing 7 years on everything, and Fairphone 10 years, you know, they need to get their shit together, as I said. But I want one.
I do question one thing about it, and it's really specific because I heard about it the other day. I've got a friend who works on a construction site, and he had to unlock his phone to be able to show the delivery number or something like that to someone else. And he took off his glove, unlocked his phone, and the person that he was showing it to escorted him off the construction site because he broke the regulations of the construction site that everyone had to wear gloves.
Oh, you can use this with gloves. Covered in water as well. It says that somewhere.
To unlock it? How do you unlock it?
By putting a pattern or a pin in or something.
I was thinking facial recognition might not work because you're wearing a hard hat and safety glasses.
Right. It specifically says that it works with gloves. That's what they, you know.
I don't believe it. Anyway.
I want one. I won't be put off.
It's very nice, I have to say, and I love the idea of it with the two USBs. I think there's one on one side and one on the other, which is very sensible. Yeah. Or no, one on the bottom, one on the side.
Yes, that's right. A bit like a gaming phone from Red Magic or something.
Yeah. All right, as you can guess from the title of the show, we're talking about big holes. Jokes aside, Britain has drilled the deepest hole ever at 5,275 metres, or 3.3 miles. And they've gone into Cornish granite, discovering a natural nuclear reactor that powers 10,000 homes continuously whilst simultaneously extracting lithium from the heated groundwater.
Wow, very
That's
nicely
a lot
summarised.
from a hole.
Yes. well summarised. That said it all. It's a bit...
yeah.
Do you think there's a downside to this? Everything being presented in this article at AutoNation is all kind of positives.
It seems to be. I remember watching a couple of videos of the deepest hole, because the Americans and the Russians were having a bit of a competition.
Oh yeah,
I think the Americans drilled it at the bottom of a lake, so that already 600 feet had already been kind of dealt with, and then the Russians did it from I think it's out in the middle of nowhere now, and it's got a rusty cap on top of it.
The Russians stopped at, was it 7 miles? They gave up, I think it was.
Yeah, but this is only 3.3 miles.
Yeah.
So it's not the deepest hole.
I've read through this. I've read through this article, and frankly, the technology completely loses me. You need to be a nuclear fusion engineer to understand what on earth is being said here, I think. But yeah,
or Steve when you need him.
Yeah, exactly. But 190 degrees centigrade, they've got this natural water which they put a turbine into, and on a simple level, it is it's currently already powering 10,000 homes, 24/7, and that is just simply by putting this turbine down there. And the company that have found this, and the news here is that for the first time, they are selling this energy to the national grid through this company called Octopus Energy. So they've done a deal. Geothermal Engineering have done a deal with Octopus Energy, and they're collecting this energy, flogging it to the grid, and then the grid obviously sells it to the 10,000 homes in the usual way. So I think that's probably part of the news, apart from the whole lithium thing.
I wonder how long it's taken them to do this, to identify the site, drill it. Because I know in Armageddon they managed to do the drilling in just under 2 hours. Actually, maybe about 45 minutes by the time they get into space. Yeah. But, it's one of those things that with prices rising, throwing this into the mix and having it all over the UK, because it doesn't seem to be a large site. It's not as, well, let's say it, dangerous as nuclear fusion inside of a power station. And nuclear fission isn't there. Isn't that the way it works? We don't have fission yet. We have fusion, or fission's on its way. I don't know. Yeah, it's not as dangerous as other methods. So being able to do this all over the UK seems to be a good idea, where it occupies essentially a football field to do this from the picture.
Yeah. I'm not sure. This article doesn't say how long they've been at it. It could have been years and years, I suppose. Don't know.
But
anyway,
now they've done it, and now they've got it working, and they're able to actually start pumping it out to Octopus, which is a company I've heard of, actually. I've heard that it's one of the cheaper energy companies, but we could have a couple in Northern Ireland. There could be a couple up in Scotland. Well, a good few up in Scotland. So this is another alternative. Geothermal power is a way forward. You could have one in your garden.
And there's all this lithium as well, which apparently is going to be flogged off to people making batteries. So there's that as well. Yeah.
It's interesting, it's exciting, and obviously we're the worst people to be analysing it because we don't know what we're talking about. But I use electricity, so if it brings down the price of electricity, then woohoo!
Yay.
It won't. And they can't really justify price increases once this is done. They can't say, oh, the price of pulling this energy out of the ground has gone up because of these factors.
But they could be recouping the cost that it's taken the 10 years of doing it, I suppose. Like any major construction thing, like building a bridge and then making it a toll road, to recoup the outlay. I guess that's what they'll argue.
They could cover the site in solar as well. Oh, there's a problem. Moles. Moles, yeah, they could tinker with the technology that's down there. They like to do that. They dig through. They could damage the whole.
I don't think they would survive at 190 degrees.
They might wear hats or something. Or...
Yes.
Anyway, well, at least we've explored that. Yes. Back to Google. German courts are holding Google responsible for misinformation generated by the AI-powered search tools, marking a significant legal shift for AI content liability. That's an interesting way to do things, because Google are quite happy to say, yep, our stuff isn't factually correct all the time. And ChatGPT do the same, and as does other ones. So Germany is going to hold Google responsible for anything that it pumps out, which is, I suppose, is a bit mean-spirited, because they're trying to do things right. They're not choosing to put out something that's incorrect. And people are just as bad. If you go online to try and find some information like the hole in the ground, can moles affect that hole? Germany could take me to court and say, hey, moles can't affect that hole. Who's to say that they're right, and who's to say that they're wrong?
But it's more specific than that. This case arose because the Decoder, which is a publication, said that AI overviews told researchers that the company, the Decoder, was engaged in dubious business practices, and when they explored this, it apparently hadn't come from any sources. When you do an AI search in Google, you generally get the source at the end of it, and you can click through and see where that information came from. Well, what they're saying here is that on this particular occasion, they didn't do this, and furthermore, they sent a cease and desist letter to Google, which they just ignored. And so they took them to court and said, you are what's the word? Defaming our good name, because it's okay for you to be gathering information from the web where you've got a source and someone else is saying it. But if you don't do that, then this is effectively becoming Google's own opinion, and that's what the nub of this is. And I don't know if it's only happened this once, but it's only seems to be one company that are suing them for it.
Well, it's a good start, and we have seen where people have put in, questions about specific people or something, saying have they done something, and in a roundabout way they've said yes, they have, whenever it might not actually be true. But Google has taken a bit of information from across the internet and summed it up and saying, the lion's share of people say that this is true. And it might not necessarily be true because there's an ongoing court case or something like that. Like, did Jeffrey Donaldson do what they say they did, or they say that he did? And it could come back with a resolution now, and that's not fair because it's an ongoing court case. Anyway, the ruling represents a critical legal precedent where AI-generated content is held as an original property of the technology provider, not the third-party source. If this trend continues, Google may be forced to fundamentally reconsider how it presents information through its AI tools. So, yeah, it's going to be different going forward, and we'll move on to Microsoft, because that's another big company that needs a finger wagging, because Microsoft is disabling editing capabilities for Office 2019 users on Apple devices starting on July 13th, which is, oh my god, a whole month away, while newer versions of Office will receive updates to fix the issue. Ted, is this something to do with what you've been dealing with Microsoft?
No, because I don't use Apple devices. But what it means is that if you bought an Office 19 disk and you're an Apple user and you're using Office 19 on your computer, then from this date next month, you will not be able to do anything except view your and print your whatever you've got in there, which is really naughty because you can no longer edit the work. And what they're trying to do, Microsoft, is to make people update to newer versions of Office 21, and also, more importantly, in their views, Microsoft 365. They want to get people on board. So if you're an Apple user who are using Office 19, they want you to update, and they're going to force your hand by not letting you edit anything on the suite anymore. They're after a monthly income or a yearly income from Microsoft 365 here, and not letting people use legacy copies of stuff they've still got from years gone by in Office, previous versions of Office. So yes, naughty Microsoft.
So it's only Mac products that are affected by this.
Yes.
It's not affecting anyone who's got a Windows computer, and large corporations that maybe have Macs all over their Office and use Excel are going to have to update to Office 2021
or Microsoft 365 as an ongoing subscription. But some of the old Windows versions of these old Office things don't work anyway. So, take, for example, my ongoing fight with Microsoft Publisher. Eventually these things, if they're not popular enough, they'll fall off the end. So, you can't guarantee that just because you've got a Microsoft computer or Microsoft computer operating system that you're going to be treated any better than if you're an Apple user. But they're probably not so concerned about that at the moment, because there's more Microsoft 365 users who are using other Windows products anyway. It's Apple users who are in the firing line here.
Weird. I'm just doing a quick Google now, and Office 19 is still for sale for Mac.
Yeah, but it's got another month to go. Bit of a waste of money, wouldn't it?
Brilliant. It's a bit like The Crew, isn't it? So, the day before, they're just going to cancel it and go, yeah, screw you all. You can buy it up until today. You can redeem that license up until today.
Nonsense.
So is it going to be stop killing games? Is it going to be stop killing office products? Right. Researchers at the University of Texas at Austin are developing wearable textiles that can collect and purify drinking water directly from the atmosphere. This sounds pretty damn cool. This innovation transforms the concept of atmospheric water harvesting from large stationary systems into portable wearable solutions that can revolutionize water collection and access for outdoor activities, disaster responses and remote locations. So yeah, Ted, what?
I don't understand the tech about how this works. You should know this better because you watched Dune and you watched The Martian, and I guess that creating water from whatever is out there in the atmosphere is the tech here. But I have no idea how they managed to do this through some material which you can effectively make into whatever you want. This jacket they made produced between 400 and 900 millilitres, which is about 14 to 30 ounces for Americans, of drinkable water per day. So if you watch some of these kind of, post-apocalyptic films and people struggling for water and not being able to get anything to drink, this would just be perfect, wouldn't it? So the tech's really interesting, but I don't really understand how it could possibly work.
You know Dune isn't real.
Oh, do I? Dune. I've never seen Dune. It's a film, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's not real.
Right, okay.
And neither's Mad Max. The Martian isn't actually
nor is The Martian, yeah. although the technology apparently he used in The Martian to get water from nothing is real, isn't it?
Yes, that's true. Yes, the science is factually correct. They believe.
Yeah.
But maybe one day. But it's the same with Star Trek. They're actively working on technologies in Star Trek, and they're going, yeah, okay, this whole warp thing, it's doable, but not quite now. But at some stage,
I was looking into how to make seawater into drinkable water, and you can do it as long as you've got a heat source, as long as you've got a fire, and you set up this. You get some seawater and you put it into with heat under it, and then you put a lid or something upside down on it, and the condensation drips into a collecting vessel in the middle, and the simple technology for anyone to take the salt out of seawater in order to be able to turn it into, it's there. In theory, anyone could do it.
Isn't it called desalination? And they have, well, that's the whole Iran thing where Trump was threatening the desalination plants, which would kill off the water supply for the people who live out in the desert.
But my point is, you can do it yourself. Well, you can't if you live in the desert, but if you live anywhere near the sea, you can.
Yes, and you need a cooker.
Yes, you do need a heat source.
Yeah, and a pan and a lid.
Yes, upside down and a collecting vessel inside it. It's an interesting little DIY thing.
Well, I think most people who would be trying that probably live in a domesticated area where they'll be able to have a tap as well beside that, which whenever you turn on, there could be cold water coming out of it. Some people would even have warm water as well if you've got a boiler, which is a heat source.
Yeah, but when the balloon goes up, they might not have.
But how are you going to heat it? Oh, right, you're talking about a little fire out the back.
What?
Yeah, okay, like a campfire.
Yeah, any source of heat will do. But if the water supply just gets poisoned or there isn't any water anymore, you've got an option if you live anywhere near the sea. That's my point.
Yeah, okay. And we'll have Fremen, and we'll have blue eyes, and still suits. We need still suits. They are pretty cool. People look cool in still suits, especially when they're covered in dust. That makes them look even cooler. Yeah.
But anyway, you can avoid all that by buying one of these jackets they've made.
Still suits. There we go.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's real technology coming soon. The last thing we're going to quickly delve into is Amazon, because they have announced a major investment of over £1 billion for the UK, creating 4,000 jobs across multiple facilities between 2025 and 2027. Now, on the one hand, some people are very annoyed at Amazon because of the amount of tax that they pay. But where they're doing something like this, the tax that they pay kind of goes back through people's wages and they're giving people's jobs. I would suggest that they're not exactly the most fulfilling jobs, it's fulfillment centered, but fulfilling jobs for people who occupy them, and they're more temporary jobs, and you can't guarantee you're going to be there a couple of years later. But in the interim, it is jobs for people who might need them. Ted, you going to work for Amazon?
If I lived in Northampton or Kettering, I might, I suppose, and I was looking for a job that didn't involve trying to learn skills with computing and nuclear fission or fusion, then I might well be looking for a job. 4,000 jobs apparently are being created in those two sites, and Shoreditch is getting a upgrade with a third building. Very exciting stuff. But job opportunities. You're quite right. You could argue that what they're hoping to do by investing is obviously to make their shareholders more profit, and no doubt they will. But the net result for customers, they claim, will be even quicker deliveries. So more pressure on Amazon drivers to get things out quickly. Or perhaps buy drones or something, or little robot delivery thingies that go around the streets and like those food delivery robots, which are really funny. But I've never seen one. Have you ever seen one of those? I guess
No.
if you lived in London, you might, I suppose. But
No,
yeah.
I live in near Belfast, so they would have been destroyed over the last week.
Yes. That's not funny. I didn't laugh, really. So, yeah, good. It's good for customers in the short term, by the looks of it, and good for their investors and their shareholders in the long term, and good for people in Kettering and Northampton, because they'll have some jobs to do which are not done by robots.
Yeah, and the Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, Pat McFadden, has praised the investment and looks forward to being able to get his tat quicker. Right. Moving into banter. A bit of banter. Because I bought a thing. I purchased a thing. Just getting the thing. It's charging at the moment. There we go. It's stopped charging now. I bought a Lenovo Legion Go S, which is like a Steam Deck, only slightly better. Some say. So, I'm not being controversial there. Various different reviews have said that it is actually a wee bit better than the Steam Deck. It has there are two options of it available. Actually, there's about 4 or 5 different options, but we'll go with the two. You can get it with an AMD Ryzen Z2 Go processor inside it, or in my case, you've got the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme, which is faster. Generally just faster. It's a AMD Radeon graphics card is in there too. There's either the 700M for the lower version or the 780M for the higher version. And then you can have 16 gigabytes of RAM or 32 gigabytes of RAM. I have lucked out and got the 32 gigabytes of RAM. And you can have storage either 512 or 1 terabyte, which I have the terabyte as well. But crucially, they come with 2 different operating systems. You can either have Windows 11 or you can have SteamOS. And I got SteamOS, which runs better, they say. There's a micro SD card slot for being able to expand your storage if you need to. It's got a nice screen, which is 1920 by 1200. It's an IPS LCD, which some people may go boo, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's 8 inches with 16 by 10 aspect ratio. It does 120 hertz VRR. It's a 500 nits of brightness there as well, and it's got a 55.5 watts or rating on the battery, which is kind of nice. There are two USB-Cs on the top, so you can attach stuff to it and you can charge at the same time, which is genius. It's got a 3.5mm headphone jack, which allows you to plug in a pair of headphones. I don't know if anyone has done that before, but it's genius. It's got Wi-Fi 6E, it's got Bluetooth 5.3, and it weighs a little over 1.61 pounds, which is 730 grams. And it's dead good. Like, I've had it for just over a week. It arrived just before the last recording, but I hadn't actually taken it out of the box. Or it was due to arrive, or did it arrive? I can't remember which. But I've been using it all week, and I absolutely adore it. It just is it's got so much potential to it. You have SteamOS on it, which means it runs Linux. So you can actually quit out of SteamOS and go to a Linux-based desktop, and then install Linux applications therein. You can have things like SyncThing or Bitwarden for your passwords and stuff like that. You can have Lutris, which allows you to be able to install GOG, which is another online gaming store, and Epic, and itch.io, which are three big gaming stores that have quite a lot of good content. And Lutris works on a compatibility layer so that it will be able to run Windows software as well. I haven't got that all set up just yet because I'm having trouble getting to it, because I'm just enjoying playing the sort of Steam games and testing things out to see how well stuff works. Because this has the Z1 Extreme inside of it, I'm actually kind of curious to see how good the Z2 Go is. And I know the Lenovo Go 2 has been released, which has the Ryzen Z2 Extreme inside of it, which is a faster processor again. But you know, where you're dealing with a smaller screen, you might be dealing with lower graphical options when it comes to bigger AAA games and things. You don't quite notice the lower graphical options because you're playing on a smaller screen. Whereas if you're playing on a big 4K display across the room on your TV, you might start to notice the lower quality. Or if you're sitting at a computer playing your game with the screen, 2 feet away from your face, it may start to look a bit meh, because you've had to take it down to low settings. But I think for the most part, whenever it comes to Steam, there's a massive collection of games that you can play that are kind of targeted at Steam Deck level. And because the Lenovo Legion is just that wee bit better on the paper than the Steam Deck, everything just runs beautifully and smoothly, and the screen looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm really impressed with this device, and I know it's been out for a long time, but there's some good deals coming along, and I got it before Prime Day. And I think it's one of those sort of precursor Prime Day deals where they sometimes drop the price down just for a couple of days and then bring it back up, and then it'll drop back down to that price for Prime Day. So I think that's what happened. But I don't actually see any Z1 Extremes for sale on Amazon now, so they might have just got rid of them all because they're going to drop the Legion 2 Go down for Prime Day. I don't know. But right now I've got this. I was happy with the price that I got it at. And it's a dead cool gaming device. It looks like a Sega Game Gear with a big screen. Hey, Ted, what do you think?
It certainly looks very nice for those into gaming. It'll be useless for me. I would probably more likely go with the Windows version, but as you say, they're more expensive. But I can't.
And slower.
Honestly, right, yeah. I honestly can't see the point in something like this for me. But I'm really pleased that you're getting a lot of enjoyment from it, and it's floating your boat. That's absolutely great. It's just that, as you know, I really struggle to be interested in gaming in any way, shape or form as much as you poke and prod and try and make me kind of go across to the other side. But one thing I noticed in the Amazon listing here is that somebody was saying that the fans are loud. Have you found that?
Not really, no. There is noise to them, but I wear Bluetooth headphones for the most part. You know what? My wife can sit and watch something crap on television, and I'll pick this up, throw on my headphones, and away I go. Kaboom, kaboom! And it's much, much better. She's never complained that she can't hear the TV over the fans. I can feel hot air coming out of the fans whenever I'm doing stuff. And at the moment, I'm kind of playing with it to try and get some retro deck working. And I was up quite late last night getting things to work, and I felt the hot air coming out of it, but I never really noticed the sound that much. It is there, but I wouldn't complain about it, not the slightest, given the size of it.
So I can't find a 32 gigabyte version of it now, as you say. The Amazon stock has obviously changed, but I'm looking on Lenovo's website to see how much the proper price is, and I can't. Well, on the UK website, I can't find a price. One of them on sale in Amazon seems to be 800 and something quid. Would that be the right price?
That could be the second one. Or is it the Go S you're talking?
I'm not sure. The Lenovo.
I've got a funny feeling it's end of line, and because the 2 is out, they're looking for people to move over to the 2, and they're just clearing stock of the Go S. I can't imagine they're still manufacturing it.
Oh, here we go.
At this stage,
it's temporarily unavailable, but the real price is 1,296 quid.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't pay that. I think I got mine for about 400 and... I'll go to the Amazon listing and have a look.
1,290... Blimey. Oh, there's the 32 gigabyte version one. Is that different?
496.
Oh, yeah, 649. So I think it's 649.
No, 496.
I'm seeing 649.
I didn't pay that, then.
No, I know you didn't. But I'm trying to get to the real price.
They fluctuate. It depends on where you go. And what time of year. With Prime Day coming in, I don't know, a couple of days, isn't it? Or sometime this week, I think it is. We'll see them if they're there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's not thrilling for people listening.
No,
anyway,
particularly.
I don't want you to find it for a better price than what I paid for it either.
No, I don't think you will, because from what I'm seeing at the moment is that you've got a real good deal there. Absolutely. The 16 gigabyte version is $499, and you clearly have just been there at the right time, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I left it for 24 hours and hummed and hawed over it, and I thought, well, what else am I going to do? Am I going to wait for a Steam Deck, which have gone up in price? You know, they're a lot more expensive than they used to be because of the Ramageddon thing that's going on, or Ramocalypse, or Ramageddon, that's the one. So I'll screw it. I'll just go for it, and it'll. I don't play the biggest, latest games, so it'll allow me to play Hollow Knight and those sorts of fun little indie games that I get so much of enjoyment out of. It works.
Well done. Good for you.
Yes. And what have you been playing with? Your summary of your review?
Oh yeah, I bought a thing. Well, I haven't bought it yet, but Jim Fowle sent over his Pebble Time 2, and he is willing to negotiate a price with me because I like it so much, and he doesn't seem that bothered. But thank you, Jim, anyway. But this Pebble Time 2 is, it's basically tech nostalgia. It goes back to the Pebble watches from 10 years ago, but just has made them better. Modern hardware, open source Pebble OS. It's not Wear OS, but it's a charming little premium gadget for geeks, really. It's very small. It's only got a 1.5 inch screen, but the screen is a 64 color e-paper version, and it's also touchscreen. Now the touchscreen has got some way to go because Pebble OS themselves have not really developed it yet, but third party, the community people that are writing apps for it and screens for it, faces for it, they're starting to use the touchscreen capability. At the moment, The only thing you can do with the touchscreen is to tap it to put the backlight on. But apparently, in actual fact, the updates come thick and fast, almost daily. So every day I turn it on and check. There's invariably an update waiting. So it will come, and they're clearly taking a lot of interest in the project. It's got a reflective LCD, so it's not e-ink so much as e-paper, but it looks very much like a kind of colour Kindle screen, to be honest. So it's great in direct light, though the colours are muted, just like the Kindle, and it's obviously if you're in dark light. If you're in a dark situation, indoors or
I was
whatever.
in dark light. I was. I played a vampire in a film called Dark Light.
Oh, right. Yeah. So if you're in shadow or indoors or whatever, then you've got to touch the screen to turn on the backlight to really see it. This is something that is designed for people that are outdoors or living good light. But it's built really nicely. It's got a stainless steel case. It's got a PVC coating on it, and it's all button driven because the touchscreen is not yet working properly. How you interact with it is from three buttons on the right and one on the left, and the one on the left is basically a back button. So the three on the left navigate menus and stuff like that. And it's great. It's a real nostalgic experience. It's water resistant to 100 feet. It takes standard 22mm pins, which is great because I can put my own choice of strap on it and not have to use the one that comes with it, which is pretty nasty. But the strength of the system is the companion app, and even better, more so on the web. So you sign into you make a Pebble OS account, you sign in, and everything is there on the. Well, I use the web one more than the app one, but the back catalogue of over 10,000 apps and watch faces from 10 years ago, when these enthusiast nerdy geek crowd were doing it before, it's all there. There are new ones that have been built just for this particular update, which is great because you can filter on that as well. But yeah, so lots of updates coming. Notifications work really well. It's fully featured. You can respond to people using canned responses or voice responses, and the voice engine works really, really well. When you set it up, you tell it which voice engine to use based on your language and where you are. So that works really well. The battery, they claim, because of the screen tech, will last 4 weeks, but actually I've been testing it and I think it's closer to 2 weeks. And I also looked at a video on YouTube which Shane Craig did, and he completely agrees with that. 2 weeks or just a bit more than 2 weeks, but it depends how much you use it and what you're hooking it up to, and whether you're going down the gym or whatever, or playing. As always with these things, it depends on how you use it. I don't know how Pebble OS have got to the 4 week mark, but they seem to have done so. The music app is really good. So whatever music's playing on your phone, you've got controls via the buttons on your on the side of the watch, and it's just really, really good. I mean, it's a retro kind of fun but premium device. This is not for people that go down the gym and are expecting Wear OS levels of kind of analysis and all the rest of it. But it's just a brilliantly refreshing, nerdy kind of thing to have, and you can get stuck into the community online if you want to. You can even use their tools to create your own watch faces or your own apps if you want to, if you're smart enough. But yeah, the only thing that I would say against it is that it is very small, and you do lose the glanceability factor, as I call it, of kind of OLED panels on watches, particularly with always-on displays, because this isn't an always-on display, obviously, because you have to tap the thing to touch it. But it's an always. It's not an always lit display, but it is an always on display, because that's how e-paper works. So as long as you're in good light, you can see it. But that is a kind of downside, I think. But Looks really good. It looks like it's going to retail in August in the retail channels for about probably 199 quid, or maybe a little bit less, but we're not sure yet because this one has been delivered to Jim by the Kickstarter campaign. So he got in early, ordered it well over a year ago, apparently, and it's just arrived about a couple of weeks ago. And he's very generously sent it over. I think he took one look at it and thought to himself, yeah, it's not quite for me. And also, on the MeWe group, in the classifieds, someone else has done exactly the same thing. Had it on order for over a year. It's arrived, and he's put it up for sale in the classifieds as well. So it's obviously something that you either are going to love. I think that the people that would like it the most will be people like you and I think, who are interested in getting stuck into that whole community thing and looking at what people are developing and being turned on by regular updates and seeing where it goes. It's a tech addicts piece, and I really like it. And it works perfectly well with any Android device I've fixed it up to. Apparently, according to Pebble OS, it doesn't work particularly well with Apple devices yet, but it's something they are working on for the future, they reckon. But yeah, really impressed.
You got to wonder how the development will work on Apple as well, if you'll be able to access the community areas as easily too.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a lovely looking device. I love the way that you have screenshots from it as well. So there's obviously an app that can take screenshots of the device as opposed to just blurry photographs.
You do it through the app on the phone, and you've got to go into developer settings and turn them on, and then eventually, a few menus down, there's a screenshot button. It took me ages to find that.
Brilliant. It really helps illustrate, and your football game as well. Shoot, or is it golf?
No, golf.
Mini golf.
Yeah. That little picture there shows off the green quite well. So, as I say, the colours are quite muted right across it, but that green, I think, is the kind of most vibrant colour I've seen. And that's some third-party developer that's obviously done that.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I do like it, and I would pick one up if I wasn't so entrenched in the one that I've got.
Yeah, of course. Cool, yeah. Like it. I might have to just make an offer.
Yeah, lowball him. Yeah, because you need to pay him something. Because Jim, if you're listening, he was saying before the show he could just block you and kick you out of MeWe and keep it.
Yeah, you'll never see me again. And he knows where I live. He sent it to me. He'll be around with his dogs.
You just move into the next caravan. Or wear a moustache.
Yes.
Oh, you have a beard. Yeah. Right, bargain basement where things are cheap. We're going to start with Google, because the Google Pixel 10a is reduced in price from $499 down to $409 on Amazon at the moment in black. The other colours, berry, fog and lavender, are $429, but this is for the 128 gigabyte version, not the 256. I'm just noticing you can buy one with the streamer as well for £508. So that's not a bad deal. If you were, yeah, that's quite good, because it's normally almost £600 for the two together. So if you need a TV streaming device, you could get the black one plus the TV streamer for $508. Yeah.
Very cool.
Not bad.
409. Oh, that's only in one colour, isn't it?
As I said, yes.
Is it just, which colour is it? That kind of
black.
Green colour. Oh no, the black one. Yeah. Oh.
Keep up at the back, will you please?
Sorry. I was actually, while you were talking, I was looking at how much the 256 version was, but actually the only one they've got there is a refurbished one, which is a bit off the... Anyway, there you go. Right. If you fancy some USB-C to USB-C cables, I've got a bargain for you. They're made by Listen. That's without a T.
I'm
And
listening. Who?
these are 60-watt cables rated, and you get a 4-pack in various combinations, which is quite an interesting. Various lengths and you can just mix and match them pretty much. There's a whole ton of them. I've focused in on the one that's got a ½ meter, 1 meter, 2 meter, 2 meter in the 4-pack, and that is £6.99, reduced from £10. But there's all sorts of, as I say, combinations and stuff to get. So I thought that was a pretty good deal for braided, 60-watt rated cables. There you go.
Absolutely. Ordering now, and I think you're on the money there with that collection. Although I do notice that if you want to go for the 3 1 meter ones, it's $8.59, and you only get 3 1 meter ones.
Oh.
But yes, that I will be ordering those now because of holidays, and I can take them with me. If I bring any of them back, it's a bonus. If they break while I'm away, bummer. Actually, there's one there with 5. For $13.99 with 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1 meter ones. Brilliant.
Right. Cool.
60 watt each, so they should be able to charge my Lenovo Legion plus my phone and my tablet at a fair pace. Good one. Thank you. And it'll fit together with something that I have later in the show. The Soundcore Anchor Select 2S Bluetooth speaker is down in price from £40 to $28.97, and that ends in 12 hours. Right, okay. So you might be able to get one if you're listening to this. That's only for the black one. The blue one is £38. Did you hear that, Ted?
Oh dear, £38 or £28. Do you know, I think I've got one of these somewhere.
I think you do, yeah.
I've got a feeling I bought one ages ago, but like most of my Bluetooth speakers, they're sat in a cupboard somewhere.
Just waiting for the battery to die and leak. Yeah, okay.
Yes, very sad, isn't it? Right, keyboards are next, and this is the TechNet wireless ergonomic keyboard, which I thought looked quite interesting, and I quite like the look of the dimpled keys on it. £27.77 reduced from £32, and I can't remember if I ever had an ergonomic keyboard before. I've got a feeling that way back in the day when Microsoft first produced one, it was a whole Microsoft thing, and we had one in the office, but I can't remember if I got on with it or not. Have you tried one?
I don't think I have. No. I do remember having a Microsoft one that was a wee bit that way, but I think that was just one of their first Bluetooth ones.
Right. This looks like a really interesting idea. I might borrow one from Microsoft and try it, because I also like the kind of dimpled key thing. I think it's a nice. We're used to these Logitech keyboards where they're kind of they sticky out keys, the chiclet keys. But these are chiclet, but they've also got a kind of carved out middle to them. I don't know. I might give that a try as it's reduced.
Yeah, in the centre of it, you've got a little LED panel that shows the power LED, caps lock, number lock, and scroll lock. But then there's a button, or I don't know if it's a button, there's a logo underneath it for TechNet, and I'm wondering what that does. If you click it, does it do something?
All right, yeah. Good question.
It'd be cool if it did.
Yeah.
An Easter egg or something, and play some trumpets or something. It doesn't show in the features that there's anything attributed to it. It must just be a badge, but I hope there's a secret function.
Yeah.
Electric shock.
If I get one, I'll tell you.
Yes, it's a cool looking keyboard. I like the dimple effect. You're right. That does make it look very comfortable to use. Yeah. Next up is Anker Nano. What is this? Oh yes, it's a 13-in-1 laptop dock. Yeah, this was really cool. I think we featured this in Coming Soon or something like that before it was released. It's reduced in price from £130 down to $99.99, and it's a dock that you have on your desk, but it has a little bit that comes out and can go with you. It's a detachable 6-in-1 hub. It's got USB-C, there's 3 display docks, 2 HDMI, 1 DP. It's got 10 gigabit per second USB-C, 3 USB-A's, There's an audio adapter, SD, trans flash adapter, Ethernet, and 100-watt max power delivery for various computers and things like that whenever you happen to plug into it. But it's one of those kind of desktop 1301 docks that looks really cool, and it's got the novelty of having the slippy out USB hub that you can take with you, which is really handy. Ted, this looks like something that would be up your street.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the blue light. If I had it, the blue light would be on all the time. But yeah, this looks absolutely great. I do love Anchor stuff. They just come up with some really interesting designs, and I really, really wish I needed one of these, because that is so cool. But unfortunately, I don't, and it's £100. So, no.
Well, just looking through the specs, the Ethernet port on the back is 1 gigabit, which is a bit of a shame, but you've got 10 gigabits on that USB Type-C.
Right.
Yeah, well.
That's apparently
nice.
the 6-in-1 hub that goes inside it apparently is worth about £16. So you could take that off the 99, I suppose, if you wanted to be creative in justifying a purchase.
Yeah. Groovy. And there's a free bonus item as well. Oh, claim free item.
It's probably a cable. It's a if you click on claim the free item. Oh, it's the USB hub, Anchor USB hub. We'll come back to that one later, because I've got an item that's got that attached to it as well.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, what's next?
Samsung Galaxy S25 FE is next, which has been reduced from $699 to $599, and this is the 256GB version, 8 gigs of RAM, and by all accounts, a very capable phone. We got people in the MeWe group that use these and think they're just super. So the FE version obviously saves you money, and it's almost as capable. So £100 off.
Yeah, and it's plug-in the Galaxy AI badge there. I got the One UI 8.5 update to both my tablet and my phone yesterday, but I was busy with stuff and I didn't get to look and see what it does or what I should expect from it. So I'll maybe report back on that on the next show.
Okay.
Perhaps, if you're lucky.
I'll join you on that, because I got it on my S24 Plus and I've been playing with it for PSC, so we can have a bit of a do on that if you like.
Or you can investigate it all and tell us and me everything about it, and then I'll start looking at it after you do. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Okay, the Ionius, A-I-O-N-E-U-S, the USB Type-C plug, which is a 40-watt multi-USB-C plug for travel adapting needs. If you go on holiday, this is the kind of thing that you're going to want to take with you. It's got two 3.1 amp USB-A's, a QC 3.0 USB-A, and a 20-watt USB Type-C. So it should cover most of your needs if you're staying in a hotel, and you can plug in your phone, tablet, smartwatch, and Steam Deck if you need to on the go. And it's only $4.99, which is great. Perfect for travel. You could have one on either side of the bed, one for the kids, and not have to worry about it. £15 for those three is great. Ted, you want one of these?
And it turns sideways. It's really odd, because I don't think it does turn sideways, but in their pictures they seem to have got a wall plug that's on its side.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, weird.
Really, yeah, they're trying to make the point of it can be used either way up, I suppose. But yeah. If I needed one, I would, but I just don't need one. But $4.99, that's just incredible, isn't it? For that, this stuff is just so cheap. Well, some stuff is.
I actually have a 3D printed shelf that goes on the top of one of these that I have. It's a Lum Sing one, and it clips on the top, so you can have a really short USB cable, and it goes round, and you set your phone on top of it and charge it. It's dead simple.
Yeah, very cool. Right, the last one is the Soundcore Motion X600, which I bought in 2023. It's currently reduced from, as long as you choose the right colour, it's reduced from the £200 on release price, RRP, to 113 quid. And again, this one ends in 11 hours and 17 minutes, 11 hours 16 minutes, so you'll need to be quick if you want to jump on this. But this is the other one that I was saying before, that comes with that same deal. So you can get the Anker 5-in-1 USB-C hub, which is worth 12 quid. For free if you buy that. So if you want to justify it, then it's almost down to under 100 quid, I suppose, particularly if you take RRPs into account. But if you want the blue one or the green one, which are much more interesting than my boring black one, then they're not quite as cheap. And you don't get that deal on them either. But it's a great speaker, really, really powerful, 50 watts of output, and it's waterproof as well, up to IP7 for, well, it's not dust, so don't take it to the beach, but waterproof certainly, and it just sounds great. It's got this this high-res spatial audio thing going on that Ruark and Marshall have, where you put it in front of you and turn this thing on, and it throws the soundstage out really wide. It does work pretty well, and that handle on top of it is fixed in place, stuck, and it's a really nice design feature. It's very solid. The whole thing it's a really good speaker. Shut up now.
No, you're fine. It's good to have a speaker that gets such enthusiasm from the likes of yourself, even though it spends most of its time at the bottom of a cupboard. Right. Well, if you want to get in touch with us, you can by emailing us at Gareth at techaddicts.uk. I'm on Twitter as well, or the social network formerly known as Twitter, at Gareth Miles, GarethMyles. I also have Mastodon and Blue Sky, and I have my GarethMiles.com. There's techaddicts.uk, there's PodHub UK, there's Tech Addicts on Twitter at TechAddicts UK, and there's Gareth's coffee link in the show notes if you want to buy me a coffee for the summer, which would be nice. Ted, where can they find you?
I'm just simply at tedsalmon.com. All the links are there to all of our MeWe groups and all of our podcasts. We've got quite a few coming up this week. There's a projector room on Wednesday, and there's a PSC photography on Thursday, and then we'll be back with another Tech Addicts on Sunday, won't we?
How exciting. What a packed week you've got. However, will you survive? All right, well, we'll be back in, as Ted was saying, with you next week for another rip-roaring, exciting Tech Addicts load of old nonsense. And have a lovely week. Take care now.
Bye for now.